Alright, so situation up to this point is that Aveline hired us to help her stop some thugs. She caught wind of an ambush, and sure enough, when we got there, we got attacked on sight. And when we get back to deliver the good news, the captain not only doesn't praise us, but he cusses her out, essentially, and threatens to lock us up, too, if we ever interfere again. So we've stepped on some toes, obviously. Alright, but, you know, messing with Aveline and her friends is like punching a bear. So she wasn't going to stand for that, and she investigated a little further and found out that that particular patrol that we interfered with, it was assigned to a lone guard, and on that particular instance, the satchel she was carrying not only held the orders that she would be routinely delivering to the outposts, but it also held the payroll for the week, for the guards or whatever. All right, and so essentially she was going to be sacrificed to deliver the money into the hand of these thugs. Pretty messed up, all right? Kind of glad we got to save her, and she looked into it even farther and found out that there was another guard being sent into an identical trap here in Lowtown at night. Lone guard, lone patrol here, you know, and all these thugs. Now, you can see what we have to deal with. As soon as we get here, we get attacked by this random band. And essentially, just to kind of make a statement on just how corrupt Kirkwall is from the ground up, is that each area at night, in fact, each area during each chapter is going to have its own unique gang set up here to harass us and harass anyone else trying to walk the streets at night. And if you clear them out, you of course get rewards for this, which we'll find out shortly. But it's a great source of XP and all that, but essentially each one of these gangs has their home base set up in each one of these sections. Like we'll find, what are these guys called? The Sharps? But we'll find their home base as soon as we find their lieutenant. Basically, you weed out all these stragglers until you get to the main group and kill their boss, and then you'll get a note with the location for their hideout to go kill his boss, you know, type of thing, the main guy. Then once you do that, the streets are pretty much clear, at least for the rest of that chapter. And then when we get into chapter 2, or the second part of the story in this game, we'll find a new group of thugs that have, you know, replaced the old ones. Basically, you know, hey, fresh ground. Nobody else has claimed it. We might as well start messing with people and stealing and murdering and doing whatever people do here on the streets at night, like they're trying to do to us right now. So anyway, that's what we're going to do while we're here, all right? As well as investigate some other stuff. We did pick up a quest, and we see the guy that we need to talk to is actually standing right here. He's not helping us deal with these guys any, though. So before we meet with him, we might want to clear out these archers trying to snipe us.
The streets aren't safe at night.
Yes, we should, and that's what we're doing, matter of fact. Alright, so several things we can clear up while we're here. It's pretty cool the way the game progresses is as you're doing one thing, you pick up several other things to do. Or you can complete other stuff. You know, you might be able to drop off a few fetch quests and pick up a new one and go deliver something and then, you know, meet the guy that you were initially going to meet in the first place. And so the game naturally progresses along. I like the way they laid it out. Alright, so here's our contact.
Are you Ansel?
Ah, sweet mother of Parth. You can't just run up on someone like that. Are you the one that mercenary told me about? The one looking for work?
Did you think I was going to attack you?
Oh, no, all right. Hope not, anyhow. My apologies, human. I haven't been on the surface very long. I keep thinking I'll fall up into that sky any minute.
Bertrand used to be like that. Got jumpy every time he stepped outside.
What a bizarre thing to be scared of.
But I digress. I need some help. Rather badly, in fact. Some product of mine has been misplaced. The men who were supposed to deliver it decided not to. If you retrieve my property, I could reward you handsomely.
Just what did these men steal?
Did I say steal? I don't know if I would go that far. They seemed like perfectly reasonable smugglers. They smiled and everything. The goods are valuable, however, and illegal. And my client wants them very, very badly. You know how these Templars can be.
You're smuggling lyrium to the Templars?
Maker's breath. Between the Chantry, the Carta, and the Coterie.
Shh! By the Paragons, not so loudly! My word, I'm not cut out for this. I should have taken that job sweeping stables like Mother insisted.
Make it worth my time, and I'll help you.
Oh, I will. Or I'll try to. The gentlemen conduct their business at night in a little hovel within the Alienage. If you have to kill them, then I guess it can't be avoided. But I'm sure they'll be reasonable.
Wow. Okay, you really are in the wrong line of work, because a superstitious, skittish dwarf jumping in his own shadow here in Lowtown in the middle of the night. Yeah, he's totally out of place. I'm sure they were perfectly decent smugglers. They smiled and everything. Wow. Okay. Nobody's that much of a tool. You know, yeah, you might want to go sweep out those stables after this. Definitely in the wrong line of work. And so what I'm going to do is do a little hunting here. You can see in the mini-map up there in the top right where our actual quest marker is. But I don't just run through any of these areas at night, you know, just pell-mell, you know, running through the streets with my hands in the air like I just don't care. No, that's a good way to just get ambushed and immediately dead. But I don't need to get jumped in one thing while I'm trying to do something else. Let me make sure that there isn't a horde down here. Now, if I were to leave this area, now it's possible that I could kind of force another group or two to spawn here and actually maximize my XP. I could get more XP out of this. I'm going to try to do this in one sweep, you know, for the sake of the videos and stuff. But sometimes when I'm you know, playing on my own, yeah, here you go. All right, this spawns a mob. But this little area down here at the bottom of the stairs, you might find one down here or whatever. But, you know, weed out a few, and if you're lucky enough to not run into the lieutenant, because once you get the note that leads to their base, I believe it stops spawning them in the streets. But if you can avoid that, then you can probably force another mob or two to spawn for you. Get some extra XP out of this. Notice the reinforcements come out pretty regular. I notice a lot of these fights are set up to where if you kill a certain number of a certain kind of the enemies that they're giving you, it will cause another wave to come in. And there's a way to manage a fight in a lot of cases where, you know, if you avoid killing, you know, say there's two of a particular, you know, lieutenant grade enemy, avoid killing either one until you can get some of the mobs out of the way. So if you do accidentally kill one, it might bring in an entire another mob and another set of lieutenants on top of you while you're still getting molested by the first mob. In a lot of cases, it's kind of hard to manage all that because you're running around and just trying to, you know, kill before you get killed type of thing. But once you become comfortable with some of the setups, some of the ambushes they give you, then it becomes a little easier. In this case, everyone's doing their job well enough, I guess, where we're getting by. But sometimes they just throw just too many at you. I mean, seriously, if you don't manage the battle a little bit, then you get overwhelmed real fast. All right, see, I would expect a mob right here. This is one of their ambush spots, and there isn't one. I think by leaving the area and coming back, we could force one here, most definitely. So, all right, now, you know, I remember there being a barrel or two to search here. And there's the old Red Iron boss that we met at the beginning of the game, the one we hired on with for a year. And he left word with us in our little log back at home to meet with him too, so all right, we'll talk to him in a second. Alright, looks like this lone guard was about to be in real trouble. Oh wow, this stupid assassin one-shotted my mage. See, not cool. Once your mage is down, you have no heals, or support, or elemental weapons, and yeah, okay, this assassin needs to go before anyone else. One advantage to playing a rogue, being a glass cannon, being able to put out a tremendous amount of damage in a short period of time. I mean, even now, you know, it's pretty nice, but later it's going to get even better, because you can take out those hard targets like that, the big targets, early and fast, and then deal with the mobs.
Who? Aveline? You're a beautiful sight.
Aww.
Guardsman.
I mean, I was on patrol and they came out of nowhere. I took a few down, but there were too many at once. The captain said this route was supposed to be quiet.
The seal of the Viscount. Office details. City accounts.
Valuable to a guild of thieves. A sacrificial delivery with one of our own. Captain Dreven will answer. Selling out his own? Forget Guard Captain. This man needs to be in government.
Not now, Hawk. Dreven needs to see how justice works. This goes to the office of the Viscount. This will be known.
The captain likes his thieves so much. Let's see if they welcome him in.
You don't expect Aveline to be politically correct or play nice. She's going to do what's right regardless. She's going to be stubborn about it too. That's a good thing. Alright, so we will go back and deliver this news, but we might as well finish up all this other stuff here. Like I said, I want to go talk to Mirren, go investigate this hovel that dwarf was talking about. Go retrieve this guy's stuff and get paid for that and what have you. Go ahead and cure her injury. Yeah, it sucks when your mage gets one-shotted at the very beginning. That's bad. Fights that start like that usually don't end well. Most of the time it's pretty much a wipe and might as well just reload right there because the mages are essentially your lifeblood, especially your tank's lifeblood. Now, your tank might be able to hang on, you know. Later on, Aveline's going to be pretty tanky. She's going to be able to take a beating and laugh about it. But right now, as tanky as she might be already, still having Bethany around is kind of a must. Notice I said in some cases you can take down the big targets like an assassin, and that's good because they're heavy damage dealers themselves. But in other cases where you have, like, say, you know, Lieutenant Templar or something that has a crap ton of health and is buffing everybody and this and that, sometimes it's good to leave them for last. You know, if you can take out their minions and they don't have anyone left to buff or deal their damage for them, they're more a tactical presence than anything. Now, you know, on the downside of that, when they're buffing all the enemies around them, those enemies being buffed are harder to kill. So it's harder to take them down as fast as you might like to. It seems like they get like health regen and what have you. You know, better defenses, offenses, whatever. But, you know, sometimes it just boils down to trying it one way, and if it doesn't work, then just trying it the other. You know, try to take the boss out first. If you can't, save him for last. Get rid of the minions, all the damage dealers, and then deal with them. And if neither works, well, shit, back to the drawing board and just hope you get lucky. Alright, see if there's any loot sitting around here. There we go. I think there's a trophy for collecting all of these. Like 2 or 3 of these in each chapter. I think there's like 4 in each chapter, but you have to get at least 3 of them, or something like that. There's also an achievement for collecting all the history of the Chantry. That's kind of a tricky one, because one of those codexes, if you don't get it right at the beginning of a battle, you miss it for the game. Interesting. Alright, so all is quiet here, which is suspicious in and of itself. Gotta be an ambush, right? Well, I know we didn't come for a moldy ragdoll. Sure that's not what we're looking for. If that's his precious cargo, then yeah, he's definitely in the wrong line of work. Moldy ragdolls? That's what he's in the business of selling? Yeah, I don't think so. We will be eventually getting some buffs that are going to increase our critical damage even more. Notice we're pulling off a good number of criticals and doing good damage. You know, we're 1-2-shotting a lot of these little minions, which is cool because you can get their damage dealers out of the way like that. Get rid of all those little guys first. Concentrate on, you know, like I say, it depends on your order of threat, order of importance. Each situation can be a little different. But eventually we're going to really be buffing the amount of damage we do with these criticals. Like, a lot. we'll start with the assassin tree, start working our way towards getting assassinate. We don't even have twin fangs yet. Once we get that, that's like a poor man's assassinate. Then you can throw assassinate in on top of that. And use that for the real big hard targets. And then we'll work on the shadow tree after that. And the shadow tree, honestly, sometimes you might even be better off taking the shadow tree first because there's some really good critical damage buffs in that also. I'm going to throw it in second, but it's either or. I like getting assassinate unlocked as early as possible because that's when, you know, the angels in the heavens start singing, so to speak, you know. You can start one-shotting those assassins that'll be one-shotting you. We haven't really run into too many of those yet, the real nasty ones, but we will here shortly. Oh, the Templar Hunters. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a certain hate-hate relationship with them that I have. But, alright, so we came to look for this, whatever was supposed to be here, this lyrium, and it wasn't there. Empty chest. Alright. So, once again, something's not quite right here. Speaking of the assassin tree. Mark of Death, that's pretty cool. Get Varric his version of Mark of Death, which is called Brand, which essentially opens up a target for all kinds of extra critical hits. That's pretty cool. Start stacking those things. There'll be a point in the not-too-distant future, though, where we won't be bringing Varric with us a lot of the time. He'll be in our party sometimes, but most of the time we're going to be running with Aveline and 2 mages, since I'm playing the rogue. Get Twin Fangs next, then upgrade to Merciless Strike. That has a lot of force. That has more knockdown ability. I mean, it does great damage, especially if you build up with Unforgiving Chain. They have good synergy together, but it has a lot of force too. You can if you don't outright kill an enemy, you're going to knock them on his ass, type of thing, or at least knock them back and stagger them, and open them up for other stuff. But it's you can also get cross-class combos on it. I think against enemies that are staggered. I think if they're staggered, you get a combo on that, right? So. Okay, and really need to start gearing the party towards cross-class combos. Lower levels, a lot of things have requirements, a certain number of points in a tree, or a certain level, you know, starting around like 7, 8 on up, okay? But getting an ability and then getting its upgrade to where you can set up your other party members for cross-class combos or capitalize on them yourself. Either way, we need to start setting those up, like if I'm going to set Aveline up to stagger enemies, at least one of my mages, if not everybody, needs to have something that executes a combo on a staggered enemy, you know, type of thing. And if Aveline's able to capitalize on an enemy that's disoriented, then I need to be able to disorient enemies, and vice versa, you know. So start working on those too. We need to get some combos set up here, because it really helps you manage the battlefield when you can 1 or 2 shot even some of the harder targets, and then, you know, go deal with the minions and stuff. And some battles that are really, really nasty can be ended really surprisingly fast once you get combos involved and, you know, all the stars line up just right. Sometimes you'll go in, it doesn't seem like anybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it's just kind of just a cluster, and it just goes to crap real quick, and it's like, wow, what happened? And then you try it again, and the next time through it's smooth as butter, and you end the fight in like, you know, 20, 30 seconds, and it's like, wow. What's the difference? You know, somebody got a combo off when they were supposed to. You know, somebody didn't cast a spell at a particular time and had it available, right? Like, say, a certain spell that, you know, shatters an enemy that's frozen, for example, or whatever. You know, if you just cast that and then somebody else freezes that enemy, by the time it's cooled down, that enemy's unfrozen. You can't capitalize on that combo. So sometimes, you know, things have to fall into place, but ideally, if you set in tactics to where most spells are just used to execute a combo, they're not just spammed, but they're used under a particular situation and only then, right? Then your mage will have it available, saving, you know, some of the big guns for bigger targets. You know, some spells are just for enemies that are elite or higher. You wouldn't waste, you know, like, I don't know, Petrify on some little minion that you can one-shot anyway. type of thing. So you start choosing your targets and picking your battles, and things will go a little better. And I got to get back into the swing of this whole tactics thing too. This is a far cry from Inquisition. Taking a step back to this, you have to really fine-tune it. And like I say, it's a build in and of itself. The tactics are an actual build. I mean, really, if you look at it. Uh-oh. Yeah, this isn't good.
That's not the elf. Who is that?
It doesn't matter. We were told to kill whoever enters the house.
It's becoming a recurring theme. Attack on sight. Okay, now, I think we're fortunate in this one is there's not a whole lot of ranged enemies. This particular ambush here. But, want to keep in mind, being a rogue is if an enemy is concentrated on my mage and for some reason Aveline's not able to pull them, like that one over there harassing Bethany, get this guy down when he's worried about Aveline. Let me go over there and basically save her ass. See how fast he can go down when everybody's concentrated on him? I need to also go ahead and get into my tactics here sometime soon. I should have already done it. It hasn't played a big part now, but it will in the not too distant future. Is go in and set everyone to attack my target. You know, enemy target of main character, right? Or enemy target of controlled character, and then set the command to just simply attack. And whatever else they're going to do is going to be focused on that particular enemy. You can knock down a single target really fast if everybody's concentrated on that target. And so if they essentially follow your lead, it's essentially where I got my tactics in Inquisition, although they're a much simpler version, you know. It's essentially the same thing. You know, everyone follow, I point over there, go hit that, and then everybody hits that. And as long as everybody's doing that, then targets go down pretty fast. I'm going to make a point to bring up Nightmare. You know, it's just to show those of you that are familiar with me and my channel. You know, I'm not gonna cheat and change the difficulty. If I can't get past it, I'll just, you know, figure something out, and eventually work through it. But oh wait, oh cool. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, now
I don't know.
Just remembered what this led to.
But you made a serious mistake coming here.
Lieutenant, I want everyone in the clearing, now!
I don't think there is any more anyone and everyone.
Captain!
Your men are dead, and your trap has failed. I suggest running back to your master while you can.
You're
Oh,
going
that's a
nowhere,
mistake.
slave.
He gave you a chance.
I am not a slave. I apologize. When I asked Anso to provide a distraction for the hunters, I had no idea they'd be so numerous.
You were responsible for this.
I'm the reason you're here, yes. My name is Fenris. These men were Imperial bounty hunters, seeking to recover a Magister's lost property, namely myself. They were trying to lure me into the open. Crude as their methods were, I could not face them alone. Thankfully, Anso chose wisely.
Everything Anso said was a lie, then?
Not everything. Your employer was simply not who you believed.
If you couldn't fight them, why not just run?
There comes a time when you must stop running, when you turn and face the tiger.
That seems like a lot of effort to find one slave.
It is.
Does this have something to do with those markings?
Yes. I imagine I must look strange to you. I did not receive these markings by choice. Even so, they have served me well. Without them, I would still be a slave.
If they were really trying to recapture you, then I'm happy I helped.
I have met few in my travels who have sought anything more than personal gain. If I may ask, what was in the chest? The one they kept in the house?
It was empty.
I suppose it was too much to hope for. Even so, I had to know.
You were expecting something else?
I was, but I shouldn't have. It was bait, nothing more.
You didn't need to lie to get my help.
That remains to be seen. It's as I thought. My former master accompanied them to the city. I know you have questions, but I must confront him before he flees. I will need your help.
It sounds like you intend to do more than just talk.
Denarius wants to strip the flesh from my bones, and has sent so many hunters that I've lost count. And before that, he kept me on a leash like a Qunari mage, a personal pet to mock Qunari custom. So, yes, I intend to do more than just talk.
If it means fighting more slavers, I'll help you.
I will find a way to repay you. I swear it. The Magister is staying at a mansion in Hightown. Meet me there as soon as you can. We must enter before morning.
Cool, chance to kill more slavers. Cool with that. Got some of Aveline's friendship back. So far we've been pissing her off just a little bit. By who we've talked to and what we've agreed to do. Now, we essentially, by going into that hovel, left the area. And see, here we go. Now, you know, it honestly would probably be wise now if we could to find a quick escape route and get out of here and then come back, and we could probably spawn several more of these, like I was mentioning earlier. But like I said, I'm not gonna go through all that. Sure enough, I could get some more XP, but I'll just keep going along with the story here. Alright, so we saved Donnic. We're going to go deal with Captain Dreven when we get back. We'll turn him in with his shiesty ass, sacrificing his guards to pass along all the city's goods. I mean, not just payroll and stuff, but accounts, account information and stuff. So on and so forth to these thugs. And I don't know that this was the same group of thugs that ambushed us. He's probably got his fingers in lots of pies. Which would be the case with criminal people. I mean, makes sense. But anyway, so we're going to put a stop to all that. We're going to step on a lot of toes when we do it. But you know what? Everyone's attacking us on site anyway, so it's not like, what are we going to do, piss them off? They already want to kill us. Might as well do the right thing while we're at it. Yeah, see, when you upgrade Explosive Strike there, that dude's going to go flying. And so it'd have been better to upgrade that already, honestly. I didn't, but I think we'll do that. We'll do that the next point we get. Even though I think Twin Fangs will be available. See, now it's time to make choices because I want to start investing in my assassin tree also. Okay, so I'm going to start looking at having the funds available to go buy some tomes, start getting some skill points. There's one from the guy, you know, who owns the Bone Pit. He has one. And then there's also a potion available in the Black Emporium. And, you know, both those together, that's like, I think right at 50 plus gold right there, just between the two of those, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I think there's 2 more potions. But I think one's for a mage. Okay, there's one that I can't use, but I can keep it for, say, someone like Anders or something. There's reasons I'm not going to invest much into Bethany. Sorry to say. Really, really sucks. One of the disappointments in the game is, yeah, well, see when we get there, but, yeah, not much point in giving her a whole bunch of extra abilities. Anders neither, to be honest. Friggin' jerk. Alright, so we've got him branding everybody, and like I say, at some point get in here into the tactics, and we'll do a little fine-tuning, and there'll be adjustments as we go, and maybe even some things, new stuff to try, like, you know, this works, but hey, let's try that. That actually sounds like it might work better. And truth be told, it's probably something I've experimented with before, but forgot. And there's probably a reason I abandoned it, but I'll try it again anyway, you know, type of thing.
Well, if it ain't my favorite new citizen. What are you doing here?
A good question.
Did you finally figure out being free and poor in Kirkwall ain't worth a rat's spit?
My year's done. But a day's work for a day's pay. That I could do.
You mean you're not too good for my kind of work? Because the blokes I hired after you couldn't find their arse with both hands. I sent them to take out Lord Harriman while he was preparing his cargo for shipping. Nighttime, docks, simple. Never came back.
I haven't heard a job in this yet.
The job's the same. Kill Harriman, but there'll be a bonus if you find my men alive.
I assume this isn't personal.
Job's paid for second-hand by some other old Kirkwall family. The nobles here like to shank each other for sport. We're just their knives.
Who's Lord Harriman?
I don't know the who, but the what is old and rich. Rumor says he's a savvy one. His daughters give him marriage ties to half the city.
I'm sure I can finish what they started.
They were supposed to ambush him at the docks. That'd be the best place to start looking. And remember, Harriman dead, my lad Gustav alive. Other way around, then you don't get paid.
Yeah, this guy's a little too sleazy. Aveline can't say a whole lot about that because essentially that's the side that she leaned towards when we first started all this. She looked a lot more favorably on dealing with the mercenaries. She's like, well, it makes sense, you know. Do what y'all are doing. That's her words. So she can't cry a whole lot about, you know, doing another day's work for these guys. Although, I mean, when it's not really necessary and we're doing it anyway, I guess she might have something to say about that. But either way, we need to find ways to make gold. And that's what we're going to do. There he is. Okay. Alright, so this will be the Sharps commander here. And he's pretty nasty. Nasty piece of work. Notice I've got these archers pelting the crap out of us, but as long as he's there, in the midst of all my party, that's just trouble. Nice. And these mid-level archers with the extended health bars, they're takes a second to knock them down. The whole time they're just pelting the crap out of you. Gotta love dog. Gotta love old Bob Snarley there, keeping them occupied. Awesome. And there we go. Alright, so you kill their lieutenant, and then we have a location for their base. And this will repeat itself, some way, shape, or form in Hightown and the docks. Don't remember about Darktown. I know we get attacked by random mobs in Darktown, but it seems like that's not really organized. That's just little groups. Just about every time you go back there, somebody's pissed off about something and wants to attack you. I think, you know, also I think the deal with Darktown is some mobs you can force them to spawn in Darktown, either day or night, depending on what you've done elsewhere. If that's the case. But we get ambushed as soon as we come in here. And it's a bunch of archers in a short space with an assassin running around backstabbing your whole party. I did remember to use Mark of Death. I'm going to try to use that more often. I tend to not be in the habit of it. I'll just forget I've got it. You know, I'm so busy about stabbing people in the back and assassinating them and all this and that I'll forget that Mark of Death is there, and it's yeah, it really comes in handy. Enemies take more damage, and then you, like I say, you stack that with Brand, and they're taking critical hits on top of that from everybody, and it's pretty effective. I've got one last stray. I'm glad they didn't bust out of the doors when we were fighting. I think they probably would have had it lasted any longer. So, you know, if you kill my boss in like 2 seconds flat, I probably don't want to come out either. Just forget I'm here. I'm going to go home now. I believe each one of these bosses is going to drop a unique item too. Armor and amulets and weapons, all kinds of stuff. But it's a good chunk of XP, so that's the most important part. It's the XP. We already lost a little bit by not causing a few extra mobs to spawn, so definitely take that.
And I'll be at the Hanged Man with some toys as reward. Courtesy of some...
Okay, now a heads up with this cool lady right here. Even your character will say, "Damn, do we never meet anyone normal?" All right, so her whole thing is when you finally finish off a gang's base, you know, when you clear out an entire area of that particular kind of gang, you go report it to her. You can maximize your gold by reporting it one at a time. If you wait and report them all at once, you actually get less gold overall. I think it's the difference between like 5 gold and 8 gold, I think. There's a couple sovereigns difference. All right, but she'll be here now, and she's in this back room. Also, since we're here at night, there's going to be some new stuff spawned here. Every area of the city has 2 phases. You have a day phase and a night phase, obviously, but each one's going to have its own set of loot, and wow, my inventory's full. Okay, I've been collecting a lot of junk. Let's see. Speaking of junk, I'm sure I have some stuff that's not even worth a copper. I mean, yeah, this moldy rag dolls, stuff like that. Yeah, that's worth nothing. Yeah, you can clear out all the chests and boxes and barrels and what have you in an area in the daytime, like Hightown. When we go back to Hightown at night, there's going to be different sets of stuff, chests lying around. Some of them that you can pick, get some XP for picking the locks, stuff like that.
I removed another bunch of lowlifes. Good on you, Sirrah Hawk. We friends are indeed friends of yours.
There we go, 2 gold at a time. So it might be, you know, 6 gold instead of 5 or whatever, but all I know is if you turn them all in at once, you get less. So try to remember to stop back here each time we clean up the streets, so to speak.
A hive of scum and villainy. Every city needs the outlet.
Yeah, right. Bars do serve their purpose. Seedy hangouts like this, they have their role. Keep all the scum in one place, type of thing. All right, so Marion sends us to the docks, and we might as well go ahead and take care of some of that. And we might even head back to Hightown. We have some companion quests that we need to do there. One for Anders, one for Fenris now. Lots of stuff to take care of at once. All right, thanks for watching, and that's what we get on the next one. But want to subscribe, click that button over my head. If you want to see more Dragon Age 2, click that image in the middle. All right, until later, I will get you guys later. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.